Okay guys, like I don't know what to tell you right now. We're going to go over something that's kind of going on behind the scenes. There's a lot of fighting in the investment community going on right now about this. There's a lot of arguing and bickering. And unfortunately, that's the way the world works. Not always do we agree on something, but there's a big issue going on in the real estate world, and that is, what is the best motivated seller marketing strategy going forward in 2018? And because you asked for it, today you're gonna get it on Investor Army. We're taking these two strategies, putting them in the octagon and letting them fight it out. We're gonna compare them on a number of different variables to see which is better. So we're taking skip tracing over here, throwing it in the ring, face to face, toe to toe, head to head against America's favorite, most beloved, most reliable motivated seller marketing strategy, that being direct mail. I'm gonna give you all a second because some of you are throwing up right now, and I know there's a love-hate relationship with this strategy. I have it too, but let's be honest here. Direct mail will work. It always works. It will continue to work, and I don't know how it can't not ever work, if I said that correctly, because if you're getting information inside someone's hand with what you do, it's gonna work. Problem is, response rates are lower and volume has increased to get the same amount of leads, so your cost per lead is increasing. So a lot of investors are jumping ship, going to skip tracing because they believe this is the way of the future and the better way to do it. But is it really? So let's compare these two and figure out which is the best for you to make more money in your business as sellers markets heat up. Deals are harder to find, so you're gonna have to be better at your marketing. So let's look at this closely. So before we dig in, let's talk about skip tracing here real quick. So skip tracing, without trying to confuse you too much, is a way to pull all sorts of information from public records, the internet, all information available, collected in one area for you to use, whether you're researching potential tenants for your properties, or what most people are using skip tracing for is skip tracing motivated seller lists to get phone numbers and emails of potential homeowners that are trying to sell their house. So let's compare these two on a number of different variables. The first one being cost. Now, cost is not always the best way to compare things, especially not with contractors, guys. If you're comparing contractors by cost, you're gonna get hurt, guaranteed. But in marketing, you have to look at what's called your CPL, your cost per lead. So you have to track your marketing to know which is best to continue on putting your money towards, because if you only have a limited amount of money, you can't just put it all over. It's best to put it all on your best strategy. So which one's it gonna be? So let's look at the cost of a skip trace. Right now around the country, for everybody I know doing this, it seems to be right around $1 per skip trace is the average cost. Now, if you buy bulk and you do a lot of skip tracing, you can get that cost down. But over here, when you look at the two most common strategies for direct mail, you're looking at postcards or yellow letters. Most investors seem to be paying about 38 to 45 cents per postcard. Costs will go down with volume. Also, right around $1 for a yellow letter. So, if you're paying $1 for a yellow letter, but you're paying $1 for skip tracing, they're pretty close. So how do we find a winner? Well, if you understand marketing, you have to do what's called drip campaigning. You have to get your information in front of the customer frequently to be on the front of mind, and it's all about timing. So the more minutes or the more different touches or the more different views you have your content or your marketing in front of the customer, the more likely you are to convert that lead. This is why people run repeat commercials, repeat radio ads. It's called drip campaigning. Similar to a leaky faucet dripping, 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 there's multiple rounds that go out. A lot of people say the magic number for direct mail is 7. I seem to see it more around 3 to 4. But you're gonna have to contact these people over and over. Every month, every 3 months, every 6 months, however you wanna do it. So let's say you're doing a 7-touch mail campaign with a yellow letter. That's $7. Whereas a skip trace campaign, that's one search, one time, you have their information, you can call them, email them, or text them as many times as you want. So for that reason, it's more cost effective to be doing skip tracing. So we're gonna give that one to skip tracing. Now, let's look at the second one, speed. So speed is very important right now as more competitors enter the marketplace. The faster you get to these motivated sellers, the better. So let's take a time-sensitive list like the pre-foreclosure list, and let's say it came out right now today. You went down and you were standing in front of me in line. You got the list before me. You got home before me. But your strategy is to do direct mail. You go home, you put your mailers together, you get all your information out to Click to Mail, Postcard Mania, or whoever's doing your servicing. You get it all set up, you swipe the card, and you let that campaign go. 3 to 5 days later, your mailer shows up, but you don't get a call. What is one of those reasons you might not get a call? Well, let's look at the skip tracing side of things. I go down, I get the list after you, so I'm less efficient, I'm lazier, I show up later in the day, But I come home, I type in those same addresses, I skip trace them, and I cold call those leads, or I use a slide dial or a mojo dialer or something like that to reach out to these individuals the same day I get the list. So I can literally have these same homeowners that you're spending money to using direct mail, I can get to them the same day and have that house under contract literally before your mailer even gets there. That's one of the reasons direct mail responses are going down. More competition, the homeowners becoming more familiar with the postcards. They see them all the time, so they don't recognize them all the time. Kind of like when you're driving down the highway, you don't really see the billboards. People are just not acknowledging them as much. But guys, for that reason alone, you're gonna make a lot more money doing the strategy, and it's faster. So speed to the customer that you're trying to reach is gonna go to skip tracing as well. Now, what about volume? Volume is very important when it comes to scalability. How fast can you scale your business? A lot of big businesses in real estate have been built by direct mail because of scalability. How hard is it to go from 1,000 postcards to 50,000 postcards a month? You simply break out a bigger credit card or write a bigger check and buy a bigger list and say, I want to mail more, right? And have a better back office system, people to handle those phone calls coming in. So you can scale really quick. Now, when you look at how you can scale volume versus mail, or volume in mail versus skip tracing, it's a lot harder to scale doing skip tracing. You're gonna need more people cold calling these individuals. You're gonna need more virtual assistants. You're gonna have to spend more time skip tracing these leads, putting into a format like a Excel spreadsheet where you can access this information. It's just a lot more difficult and has a lot more logistical issues to get those campaigns out. So it's easier to scale, and you can do a lot more volume with direct mail, which is why people like it, than you can skip tracing. So we're gonna go over here and give volume to mail. Now, this one kind of goes in the same thing, time to implement. So how hard is it to implement a direct mail campaign? You simply buy a list, you put together your postcard together, you send it off to the company that's gonna do your mail servicing, and you stroke a check or you swipe a credit card. So it doesn't take a lot of time. It takes a little bit more time to put a skip tracing campaign together. You have to get the list, the same list that you would with direct mail, but now you have to skip trace those leads, punch it into the system. We're using virtual assistants to do this. You can do it on your own, it's gonna take a lot of time. You access that data, you get the phone numbers, emails, then you have to spend more time contacting them, cold calling them, skip tracing, cold calling them, skip tracing mojo dialer, skip tracing slide dial. These are all strategies people are doing. So it's gonna take a lot more time out of your day to get this strategy up and going. So for that reason, we're gonna give time benefit over to the mail. But let's talk about another big part of real estate investing. Why a lot of you fail is because you're not following up with these leads. The good leads, the super motivated sellers, the ones that are gonna sell their house, the first person that walked through their property, those deals disappear quickly. It's the ones you follow up on and stay relentless on your follow-up and really follow up hard that you're gonna make a lot of money on. So you have to have a good follow-up system in place. So let's look at follow-up comparing skip tracing to mailing. So if you're mailing someone, you only get to talk to the individuals that call you back, right? So you're not getting a lot of leads. A lot of people are getting less than 0.25% response rate. But if you're skip tracing people and you have their information, their phone number, their email, how many times can you text them? How many times can you email them? How many times can you contact them? You can put them on autoresponders. You can follow up until they respond. And guys, that is why your follow-up is always gonna go to skip tracing, because you have more information for them and more data to market to. Whereas over here, if they never pick up the phone, how are you gonna ever contact them again, right? The last thing is ROI, return on investment. So the main goal of motivated seller marketing is to get these people on the phone. The more people you get on the phone that you talk to, the more people you're gonna close, because if you understand sales, the more individuals that you get in front of, the higher your return on investment, because you're gonna convert more of them. So if you can't get them to pick up the phone, which is the only reason why you're mailing them in the first place, or you can't get them to pick up the phone and call you, as compared to getting a lot of people on the phone, which one's gonna make you more money, right? It's simple common sense. If you're cold calling these people and they're picking up the phone, you're getting more people on the phone than you're getting to call you back off your direct mail, you're gonna have a higher conversion rate. The more conversions, the higher profits. So naturally, I'm just gonna say, in my opinion, you're gonna see a higher ROI on skip tracing. So let's look at the board here closely. We got cost, speed, volume, time, follow-up, ROI. Right now, what we just went over, in my opinion, it looks like skip tracing is a better strategy for you in 2018. This is a strategy that a lot of investors are doing right now. And yes, it can be tough to scale, but it's a high ROI on your investment. And if y'all don't have a lot of money, you don't have to be hiring virtual assistants. You can do this all on your own, guys. And the more contacts, the more individuals you get on the phone with, the more you're gonna close, the more deals you're gonna get, the better you're gonna do. So look into skip tracing in 2018 if you haven't already done so, guys. If you like today's video, please leave a comment below, share it around, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a good day.